Welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
Yes, welcome to the Whiskey Vault. He's Daniel, I'm Rex. There's multiple glasses.
Things are happening, and I will explain.
He's trying to convert me.
Yeah. Okay, so it's trio time.
What does this mean?
This means
I have a suspicion because there's a lot of glasses.
Yes, so we had such a backlog of whiskey donations that I decided, all right, we're gonna knock out this whole thing in a couple of weeks.
So Daniel Week is evolving into
Trio Tasting Sommelier Week.
This is getting very complicated.
That's a lot of words in there. No. So here's the thing about trio tastings is when you're trying to understand whiskeys, one of the best things to do is do trio tastings, and not 2 and not 4. Trio tastings. 2, too simple, right? You take 2, it's like, oh, well, that one's a Scotch and that one's a bourbon. That's easy, right? 3 gives complexity, and it helps you start to uncover things inside the whiskeys.
Right.
4 is too many. Your brain's not actually good at remembering past 4. Like if we had a 4th to this, you'll forget the first one. But if we do 3, you'll be able to keep all of those in your mind at the same time.
I have a sneaking suspicion you're secretly trying to turn me into a sommelier without me knowing.
Yeah.
I resent that.
So, okay, today we've got 2 amazing bastards, or whatever bastards you always call them.
Bastards.
Magnificent
By
bastards.
the way...
Oh, everyone freaked out about you cutting that.
They did.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. From somebody who produces content for 2 decades now, the main risk that you have is that if you keep going back to the same bits over and over, it gets old. You constantly need to be evolving. But the moment I floated out, hey, let's like transition out of the call outs.
No!
Oh no!
No, they were unhappy.
Yeah. So we'll maybe we'll add some stuff to the graphics. Magnificent bastards are here to stay.
First magnificent bastard is Caleb Blagg.
Caleb Blagg, you magnificent bastard.
And the third whiskey in our trio is from other magnificent bastard.
Nope, don't say it. Because a magnificent bastard, he needs to be able to bask.
Oh, he's the bastard.
He needs to bask in the glory and the spotlight.
Okay, we'll tell you what the further ones after we've sipped it all.
In a few moments, in a few minutes, we'll get there.
Okay, so the 3 whiskeys we have here are, and I need to bring that one up back, 2 whiskeys from Red River, which is a Western Suns distillery.
Yeah.
Pilot Point, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 bourbon, so a rye and a bourbon,
right.
And another bourbon. This bourbon is from Missouri. Wood Hat Spirits.
Okay.
So 2 of these are a bourbon, 1 is a rye.
Okay.
Now we have them labeled so we know. Everything's stickered.
Okay.
And we also know that one of the bourbons is sort of a kind of standard young bourbon, right? And blue corn specifically. And one of them is finished in Pinot Noir cask.
Okay.
Right? And then there's the rye.
Got it.
Okay.
So am I supposed to try and figure out what's what?
Well, first, I like to drink or smell first without knowing, because it lets you maybe discover something you didn't think you were looking for. Oh, yeah, that's New Oak.
Okay, I got it.
I
can tell you the distillery, the name of the distiller, can tell you
the year, what shirt he was wearing when he poured it into the bottle. Is this guy definitely a flannel?
All right, so
this guy.
They all need flat caps.
Oh, dude, put on some pants.
That's not what the bunghole's for.
I love that was not racy unless you thought it was racy. So the problem in that sentence is going to be from the listener.
Yes, the problem's with you.
That's right.
I meant that in a classy way.
You remember I said that often, so sometimes, and I'm not saying they're doing this, I'm positing a theoretical idea.
When do I get to drink these?
Now.
Okay.
Take sips. I'm positing a theoretical idea, and that is, sometimes you'll find in a young whiskey, or any whiskey, this note of sour funk.
Okay.
Right? I have a theory that sometimes that can be attributed to barrel staves, new oak barrels that weren't aged well. Basically, they're too young.
So wait, even new oak barrels still get aged?
Yeah, because otherwise you get tree sap sitting in the cut wood, right?
Yeah.
So there's a couple ways to dry them. You can kiln dry them. Actually bake them dry. But that sort of rushes the process. Or you can leave them out in the air to just sit for years to dry before you make barrels out of them, right? And some people will do a combination of both. They'll air dry and kiln finish, or kiln dry, air finish, right? And I think if you make a barrel from wood that's not been dried yet, you get notes of this weird kind of tree sap sourness. And I'm getting that from one of these whiskeys.
This one.
The blue one,
Yeah.
yes. Now, the blue one is Wood Hat Bourbon.
Yeah.
It's called Rubenesque.
There's totally a funk.
They say on their website they diligently control every level of the process for quality control. Now, they're using 3-year-old air-dried wood, they said.
No, sorry.
Actually, I went out of my way to look that up to find out if they're using air-dried wood. They are. So it's possible that's not where the sour nose is, but there's 2 distilleries in Texas I get this same funk from.
Okay. This is the similar kind of funk that I often attribute to a tannery, like raw leather.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
This is blue corn and wheat.
yeah, it's not my favorite.
That's got some.
It's not my favorite.
It's sort of sour, sort of tannic.
Who's
sort
the
of,
second magnificent bastard?
The second magnificent bastard is J.D. Campbell.
J.D. Campbell, you magnificent bastard.
By the way, that Rubenesque, what other notes do you get in there other than the sour? I'm kind of getting overcome with barrel tannin.
There's some brown sugar, and it's like a little bit of a brown sugar, but then there's just like some white granular sugar sweetness. Since remember back whenever they made
That's
water,
gonna fall over when you say it down.
remember back when they made water bottles out of thick plastic, and they've been conserving, which is fine. Conserving's great, but now it's gotten to the point where it's tissue paper thin,
And they won't stand up on their own.
and they don't stand up on their own unless you get really careful. They
And if you accidentally bump them, it's over.
yeah.
Okay, so the green. Let's hit to the rye. The rye. This is a Western Sons Red River rye. Wow, it's kind of thin.
It's fresh and light flavors.
Yeah, it's nothing harsh, nothing aggressive, but also nothing that complicated.
Well, and this is one of the ryes where you're not going to get that heavy black licorice note that you don't like.
No licorice.
There's
at
no,
all.
was it anise?
Is this 40?
There's no anise in here. Anise.
Anise, my friend. Anise, it's 40%.
Anise.
This might have been better if they had left it more like 43 to 46.
Yeah, but it is a bit thin. So, nice that there's not a heavy black licorice, but
It tastes a little watered down.
It does, but the notes that are there kind of...
All right. So, we're not letting these sit in the glass or rinsing as much as we should between tastes, but we've got,
Is there only...
got things to
Are there
do.
2 magnificent bastards or 3?
only 2 in this one because Caleb brought both the Red River Bourbon and the Red River Rye.
Oh, okay.
So, the bourbon I'm interested in.
He's super bastardy.
Because the bourbon is 68% corn, 22% rye, 10% barley, aged in new oak, finished in Napa Valley Pinot wine casks.
So, the red, it's also kind of thin. It's a bourbon, you said?
Mm-hmm.
It's as thin.
It's also thin. Yeah, it's 41.2.
Same distillery. So if you
I think they're going for the accessibility factor.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, they made their name from vodka, evidently.
Sure.
So when you go to their website,
It's probably-
you have to look for the whiskey info. The first thing that shows up is the whole line of vodkas and clear spirits.
So if the neutral spirit of vodka is where you're coming from, this comparatively is loaded with flavor.
Right.
But compared to most other whiskeys, it's a bit thin on the
Yeah, I guess that's true. If you taste vodka all day long, you're going to go to this and be like, wow.
right. But yeah, this in rule of thumb, it's not a hard and fast rule. But whenever whiskey isn't the main focus, they're basically championing something else.
Now
The
let's
whiskey
find
often-
something in there.
Their whiskey often isn't amazing, but it's not bad.
So what flavor notes do you get in the rye? You said there's no black licorice, but what is there?
There's no black licorice.
I just can't find anything else in there. All 3 of these, I'm getting like a dominant one thing or a lack of a thing, but no complexity.
Watered down honey
Yeah, that's on the
on the rye.
that's on the rye.
watered down honey.
Watered down honey.
And just the tiniest little bit of the barrel notes.
A little bit of hay.
Little barrel notes, little honey, and it's watered down.
No, the Pinot, I can't taste the wine effect.
Well, and Pinot is already a pretty light wine.
Honestly, I can't tell a massive difference between those two. And that's weird.
The rye and the bourbon, yeah.
I mean, they're definitely different. There's no question they're different. But they sort of are sitting in their same category.
Yeah.
They're not representing their mash bill very well.
I was looking for a hero, man. And of the three, nothing's blowing my mind here.
Unfortunately. Sorry.
Colin Gregg. Finally, after a 3-week binge in reversed order just because. While filling out job applications, he's caught up. And he's really enjoyed watching all the hijinks and occasional whiskey talk.
Yeah, that's true. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, in our last review.
I don't think we talked about the whiskey at all.
Not that much, no.
Yeah, sorry.
It smells like this, and then we went on tangents for 10 minutes. If I had one question, it would be what are 1 or 2 whiskeys that really surprised y'all? Thank you for making my frustrating job search more bearable, and if you ever have a need for an engineer, alcohol nerd at the new distillery, give me a shout. P.S. If you watch all the episodes in reverse, it's about 2 guys having fun drinking together and slowly becoming more serious about whiskey until one of them mysteriously moves off camera.
Isn't that the best story ever? That's a great story.
Colin Gregg.
2 guys having fun, and they slowly get more and more serious, and then one of them disappears.
Yeah, off camera. And then you just see his arm occasionally.
Yeah, and then he disappears entirely. He's never even mentioned. And we move to a table.
Now, I can't make it in that trash can. Oh, by the way.
It's overly full. Yeah, everyone's demanding the trash can.
Oh my God. The number of people
They really
it's been, they've been talking about it for months now.
Yeah.
And it's reached critical mass. I'll figure out a way to mount the camera back there so you can see Daniel miss all the shots.
Oh, really?
And me make it like this.
That
would have
made it
if you didn't have so much crap.
He hit the trash can dead center, but there's a empty whiskey box sitting in the middle of the trash can. It just bounced off the top of it.
All right, so we'll do a trash can.
Okay, so here's one thing that I will say. I am doing the Whiskey Advent Calendar this year. I am. I'm doing the most generic Whiskey Advent Calendar that Master of Malt makes. It's just, if you go on Master of Malt, it's the Whiskey Advent 2017. It's nothing fancy. It's the cheapest one because I thought that most people would be able to hang out with us.
We can't tell you to order anything, but that's just what Daniel's doing.
Yeah, I'm doing that, and I'm getting it from Master of Malt. And those are going to be released separately from these episodes. So for Christmas...
Your Christmas present is I'm not here.
Your Christmas present for No, you'll be here. We're shooting these episodes still.
Oh.
Your Christmas present for the month of December
Can I just get the whiskey?
You'll get 2 videos a day.
Oh.
For the month of December.
Yeah, but the videos without me are just like halfling videos.
Well, will only be like 5 minutes long versus these 12, 15-minute videos.
See what I did there?
And Rex won't be there.
Halfling.
Nerd videos.
Halfling.
Evening nerd videos. All right.
No, there's a lot of people that like that.
Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight, may you fight for friends.
If you steal, may you steal a lover's heart.
And if you drink,
may you drink with Rex.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us in the Whiskey Vault. Don't forget to throw in a like, hit that subscribe button on the bottom right, and drop a question or comment down below.